All right, I am here with Xanthe Bullard, who helped organize the Arizona Revote or Revolt and brought some legislators together. So if you could tell us a little bit about the event and how you planned it and what the goals are.
Sure. So our goal was really to inspire legislators to take any action that they could and work through government channels in order to either get a revote, which is our ultimate goal, and if that's not possible, and it doesn't look like it will be through this, although we are pursuing judicial options, our goal is to make sure that this doesn't happen, strengthen voter protection rights, and make sure that voters are educated, because I think a lot of the problems stemmed from education. I think a lot of the problems were systemic, and so we want to work to end those problems by, like, as Representative Clark kind of laid out, we worked with him on that plan to develop some strategies and maybe put in place some things that will prevent this from ever happening again and protect the citizens' right to vote and voice their opinions and their desires and their wishes for their state and the course of democracy here.
Now, did you see anything odd, or did you have trouble voting?
I personally did not have much trouble voting, although I did notice that the election workers weren't, I would say, very educational and or forthright. I believe in paper ballots, and they never gave me an option. So when I requested a paper ballot, they had to figure out how to void my electronic ballot, and not everyone there knew how to do that. And I think that election worker education is extremely important, because if they don't know how to do that, how do they know about provisional ballots and all sorts of other things that are crucial for making sure that there is a free and fair election? But I did also witness outside a polling place in Yuma, I witnessed several people who had told us on the way in they specifically changed their registration to one of the parties in order to be able to partake in the PPE, and they came out telling us that they were not allowed to vote, they were listed as no party preference, and they weren't even offered a provisional ballot. We luckily, having knowledge of how the system works, did send them to the county recorder's office to get that straightened out, but it was almost too little too late at that point. So even in our small area of Yuma, we did see some problems with voter irregularities there.
Wow. Wow, and they're supposed to give a ballot even if they're not registered.
Exactly,
so that's that's illegal.
I mean, provisional ballot, and they were not even being provided that option, which to me is illegal. It's criminal.
Yeah.
And it's suppression at its basal, level.
Right.
So that was something that I really felt needed to be addressed, and try to make a difference and figure out how we can strengthen voter protection rights. If the federal government's not going to do it for us, then we here as Arizonans have to stand up and do it for ourselves.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to add, or next steps, or?
Basically our next steps right now, the Secretary of State is holding a couple of town halls. We plan on approaching her at one or multiple of those upcoming town halls with what we're calling the Arizona Voters Promise contract, and asking her to sign it. Some of the main points of that were outlaid by Ken Clark earlier, and so we're asking her to commit to some of these things, like designating a portion of her budget specifically to voter education, as well as making sure that the polling places do not have any more than 2,000 residents or voters per polling place, to avoid lines that, quite frankly, disenfranchise the elderly, the working class, and the people who need to be heard and need to have a voice.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Xanthe.
Of course, thank you very much.
All right, well, please subscribe to Rising Phoenix Media for more real news in Arizona.
I hope I did okay.
You
I hope
did
I wasn't
really
too long-winded.
No, you were really